Saturday was quite negative, gaffer, not the result we wanted, but what's the reaction been like in training this week? Obviously we had a Central League Cup game on Tuesday as well. How's that sort of affected the week and the mood in the camp?
Yeah, it hasn't been a great time the last 2 games. You know, we should really be looking at probably being 5 games unbeaten. You know, the start of the season, the start of the January with the away games at Barrow and Bradford and the home game against Newport. You know, it was positive, and I don't think tactically we're getting done by anyone, or you know, moments of brilliance. I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot more often than not. You know, if you go back to the game at Colchester at home, that's down to an individual honest error that can happen to anyone, any level, you know, all around the country. But yeah, you know, we're pleased with some aspects of our play, but I expect a bit better. I don't think we should be in that position anyway. I think we should, you know, we had opportunities certainly against Colchester to put ourselves in the lead, and then you could be looking at 3 points rather than a none that it was after the 87th minute. So you go into the game on Saturday, you know, against one of our rivals again. You know, it's all well and good saying it goes down to, you know, Ebanks. That's the critical moment. That's an error or a lack of judgment or whatever it may be. You know, every angle I look at it, I think sometimes you deserved it, sometimes you didn't. You know, it's a bit of a mad one, but we started the game brightly. We were on the front foot. We had opportunities to go in front, and we couldn't do that. So we've got to tighten up at that end as well. You know, put ourselves in the lead. Again, I don't think it's down to Hartlepool being a better side than us. I think it's down to the sending off that cost us the game, and ultimately showing a lack of leadership after that. You know, when you go down to 10 men, that's your time to roll your sleeves up and come out fighting. And I've been in that position as a player myself. When you're playing against 11 players, it's very difficult. You know, but on the flip side, there could be unrest if you get through that period of 5-10 minutes. The home crowd are expecting straight away for something to happen, and then it can be concerning because they're not getting, you know, into the game against one less man. So we didn't manage that time too well for me, and that was a big disappointment. Obviously the sending off, or both sending offs, the leadership qualities, how we managed that 5-10 minute spell after Ethan's sending off, that was disappointing. So we lose the game in the end, and you come away again, same old story. Could have been in the league, decent enough performance. We're just making a critical error, like we have done in the last 2 games, which has cost us from being 5 games unbeaten, as I say. So I think we've had a game on Tuesday in the Central League Cup, and you know, this week after the game Saturday, more so Tuesday. You know, I've had some stern words. You know exactly where my feelings and thoughts, and you know, me as the manager can't feel sorry. No one's going to feel sorry for you. If anything, everyone's waiting to put the blade in on all of us associated with the club. They're looking for all sorts to pick up on. That's the nature of the game. If we're not doing doing the business or getting results, you know, we're all open to criticism, and that's what's happening unfortunately at the minute. But you've got to get on with the job in hand. You've got to remain positive. Got some big games coming up as always, and all our energies now, after we've had that debrief and that chat, I've got to go into, you know, into the training week and Carlisle on Saturday, which again is another opportunity to try and get 3 points. Big game for us, tough task, but one as always at League 2, anyone's capable of beating anyone else. So we go with that mentality to try and win the game and get ourselves back on track.
And obviously it's January transfer window coming to the end of it next week. We've sort of touched on it every time that we've spoke to you this month. What's the sort of latest that you can update us and the fans on?
Day to day, it's just it's a mad window. You know, we're not blessed. I mean, I think this stage last season, I think we sold Beasley, and you know, we invested a couple of transfer fees and wages on players to come in and strengthen. You know, we're not in that position. You know, if I'm being perfectly honest, the club have been fantastic. I've come in with regards to budgets and setups and things like that. You know, we're certainly not at the top end, and we can't do what the likes of Gillingham and Colchester have done, where you can just go out and spend big transfer fees and no doubt decent wages for players. We're not in that position, but we're certainly not bottom of the pile with regards to budget. So the club have done all they can to try and improve things. But obviously that's all tied up in the team or the squad that we've got. So again, there's been a bit of money made available. There's 1 or 2 players who've moved on, you know, and as I say, day to day it changes all the time. You know, if you would have asked me last week, we could have had 3 in before the game, and as it was, we didn't get any. You're asking me today, we've got no one in today, but we could have 3 by tomorrow. That's how quick it moves. We've made offers for, we've offered small fees for 1 or 2 players. We've, you know, which again is helpful from the board and the chairman with regards to being able to do that. But again, we're not privileged to be able to, you know, we haven't sold someone for a big fee and we can reinvest that in the squad. But what we are doing, we're working extremely hard. We're looking at all levels, we're looking at loans, we're looking at permanents, we're looking into the non-league. But in an ideal world, as I say, we'll be able to go out and spend big fees, spend big wages, get them in, and once they're in, then obviously 1 or 2 of your squad probably move on. It's, you know, we're no different with signing things, and we're identifying targets. We're forever talking to people, agents, coaches at other clubs, managers. You know, there's a WhatsApp group which is massively active at the minute with myself and Shaddy and the board and George, the COO. So we're doing all we can. There's loads going on behind the scenes, loads of games getting watched. It's very, very hectic, but we do, like all fans will know and I know, we need some reinforcements, we need some fresh blood, we need new faces. But I'm confident that we'll certainly get a couple in. I'd rather have them in now, but it's not always in it. We live in an ideal world. We've got to do what we've got to do. We've missed out on quite a few, if I'm being perfectly honest. You know, we've met players, we've spoken to players, we've agreed, you know, loan deals with other clubs, but unfortunately they've chose other places to go, or they're holding the nerve and hoping something else comes up, you know, before the window closes on Tuesday. So that's where we're at. We'll continue to do what we need to do, and hopefully we can get some positive news and some players in to give us an injection and hopefully give us a helping hand.
And something that's come about recently, something that's been in the press over the last few days, is Ethan Brierley on trial at Sheffield United. What's the latest you can tell us about that?
Yeah, Ethan, great lad. He's you know, homegrown, great by Tony and his team. That, you know, when I come into the club and you actually look at the players that they've brought through over the years and moved on to bigger and better things. And you know, Ethan's no difference. He wants to play at the highest level. Sheffield United got a good link with him. We've obviously got 2 of their players here. You know, as I say, he's an ambitious footballer. He wants to play at the very top. At the minute, they're doing well. You know, that next year he could be a Premier League team again. So, you know, we've been in contact. Ethan's up there at the moment. So, as I say, it's a fantastic opportunity for him. You know, as a young lad to go and play at that level. So, you know, all the best to him. We'll see what happens. We're in daily contact with Sheffield United, simple as that, and we'll get any news out as and when, if anything does happen. So, as I say, great opportunity for a young lad who's trying to make his way in the game to go and be at a Championship / Premier League club potentially. So, you know, we'll see what happens over the next days or weeks.
And just on Carlisle now, obviously one of your first games was Carlisle away, following Accrington 2-3 games. Obviously a lot's changed at both clubs since then, but what's your general thoughts ahead of Saturday, sort of reflecting on that previous game earlier in the season as well?
Yeah, Paul Simpson's a fella I've got a lot of respect for and know him well. He's done a fantastic job up there. They've invested well. You know, I was looking at the team sheet on Tuesday. We obviously trained here, had a game here in the afternoon, trained in the morning with the other group, and then myself and Shaddy drove up to Carlisle to watch them against Hartlepool. So a game that they thoroughly deserve to win. As I say, they've invested. They just recently took Joe Garner in, young lad from QPR, played on Tuesday, or Palace should say. And they've got players on the bench and even out the squad at the minute. So they've got a good squad of, you know, of players up there, a little bit of everything. They're in good form, they're in a good position. They had a good win on Tuesday and deservingly so. Key players, Dennis obviously is a player who's doing fantastically well, took his goal well the other night, or both goals should say. You know, really positive player at the level, and you know, they've got numerous players that we're going to have to look out for, but it's League 2 football, as we proved when we went up there in my first game. We're capable of scoring goals. Obviously we're capable of conceding goals as well. That's the way it is, but you know, it doesn't matter who you play. I always say it, you pay the team that you're going to play the respect that they deserve. These are no different. They're in good form, they're a good side, but we've got to rise to the challenge. Otherwise it's pointless turning up, it's pointless being here, you know, preparing and doing our training, ready for when Saturday comes at 3 o'clock. Yeah, I understand there's a bit of negativity knocking around. We're in a position that we don't want to be. You know, we've lost the last 2, as I say, more so through critical errors than the opposition being better than us, but it is what it is. We've just got to keep going. So Carlisle at home's the next one up. It's the most important one. We'll do all we can to try and get something from that game. We know it'll be a tough game, but we're a capable outfit on our day. Recently we went to Bradford, who were one of the top sides, and won there, and probably deservedly so as well. So, you know, positive mood. I've had me say, Chaddy's had his say, the players know exactly where we are. We're trying to get a few in to give us a boost, but come Saturday it's all hands to the pump and all energies and focus on trying to get something out that game, because obviously we need it at the minute, and we need to get back on track as we did do at the start of the year of 2023.